Hi everyone, let's move on to our second example. Now we are trying to order these fractions, three fractions, 1/6, 8/9, and 1/3, from the greatest, I put a G here, to the smallest. Now it's always advisable to mark it out if you want from greatest to smallest or from smallest to greatest, so that you do not forget or make a mistake. Okay, so when we want to order fractions, we need to compare fractions, usually two at a time. But because we have three, okay, we need to be a bit more systematic in the way that we are going to compare them. So let's run down our list. First one, did they give us a diagram? No, they did not. There are no pictures, there are no diagrams here, and drawing it out would not exactly be the most accurate thing to do. Now let's check, do they have the same denominator? No, they do not. Yep. Do they have the same numerator? Okay, we see this fraction and this one that has a numerator of 1. Okay, keep that in mind. But this one does not have the same numerator. And let's try comparing to half. Let's try that. Actually, I would advise everyone to start with comparing to half, because if we can take out one of the fractions that we know what is the greatest or the smallest, then we only are left with 2, and that's easy. So let's try comparing to half. Okay, let's start with the fraction 1/6. Now, if we have 1/6, I'm going to compare it with half. So if I have 6 equal parts, what would give me half? Now, if you do not know, think of it like if I have 6 pieces of chocolate, and if I eat 3, that would be equals to half of what I have. Or if you do not know, you can simply use this. Yep. From 2 to 6, I multiply by 3, and therefore numerator has to be multiplied by 3 also. Now these are equivalent fractions, meaning they are the same fraction, the same value. They show the same amount, but they just have a different name. Okay? So now half is equals to 3/6, but the fraction that we have is 1/6. So we know that this 1/6 is less than 3/6. I'm going to put an L there to remind myself that this is less than half. Now let's move on. If I have 8/9, if I have 9 pieces, now this is a bit tricky because the denominator is an odd number. Yeah. So if I have 9 pieces of cake, I need to eat around 4.5. Now this doesn't quite exist, but I know it's between 4 to 5. Yeah. So if I have 8, it's definitely more than between 4 and 5. So I know that this fraction is more than half. So I'm going to put a M. Okay, if I have 1/3, well, maybe we can just think of a chocolate bar maybe, and split it into 3 equal parts. And if I only eat one part, I definitely eat less than half of the chocolate bar. So this would be less. Now, you see less than half, more than half, less than half. Now if I draw a number line, and this is half, yeah. Now more than half, the fraction would be on the right side, somewhere there. And the other two that are less than half, we will put them somewhere here. We do not know exactly where they are, but what this tells us is 8/9 is the biggest fraction. So I can immediately put down 8/9 here as the greatest fraction. Now this is good because now it eliminates 8/9. I know that that is the greatest. Okay, so now we are only left with 2 more fractions. Let me erase this first. We're just left with 2 more fractions, then we need to compare these two. So this would be 1/6 and 1/3. Now, notice that they have the same numerator. Now, same numerator means I have one piece of 6, and same numerator means one piece of thirds. So all I need to think to myself is, are 6 or thirds bigger? Now, denominator of 6 means the whole is cut into 6 equal parts. Yep, and I only have one piece. Thirds means the same whole is cut into 3 equal parts, and I have one part. Now, the diagram shows that thirds are bigger and 6 is smaller. Why? Because when I cut the whole into more parts, each part is smaller. So I know that 1/6 is smaller than 1/3. So I know that 1/6 is therefore the smallest, and by elimination 1/3 would be the one in the middle. Yes? So in this case, I did not have to go all the way to using equivalent fractions because comparing to half helped me to eliminate one of these because I knew that this was the greatest, and then after that I used same numerator to compare these two.